Hello, my name is Linda Wasylciw, also known as L.M. Wasylciw and or Professor Scry, and I'm going to tell you how I put a story together from start to finish. Every author has a style of their own, and there's no right or wrong way of doing it, for the end result is always the same. One has a title, a book cover with a blurb for the back, and a completed manuscript pressed between the covers. Some authors will draw picture stories, chapter by chapter, then paste great artistic displays onto the wall in the room in which they're doing their writing. Others formulate their book by outlining each chapter in great detail, with pages of characters and their descriptions sorted alphabetically or otherwise. I, on the other hand, do not apply any of the aforementioned methods. This is what I do. I find a topic, a subject matter that is close to my heart. It might be a topical concern or a newsworthy social issue or something that has been swirling around in my head for years. I think about that subject for hours, days, sometimes weeks or months, and from that grows a story. Once I have the story clearly formulated in my head, I come up with a title. After I'm absolutely certain about the title, I design a book cover by either sketching something, searching through my thousands of photographs, or grabbing the camera to capture the look that I need. It's then, and only then, that I write the first sentence, then the first paragraph, and the first chapter. At that moment, the world might just as well stand still, for I think of nothing else other than the story, my story, and I'm plunking out word by word on my computer. On most days when I log off, I've written 1,000 words, but on other days, when I've reached a point in the story that's super intense, I can write anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 words from sun up to sunset. However, days like that takes its toll, not only physically, but emotionally. So, basically, I begin with chapter 1 and proceed through the book, chapter by chapter, until I reach the end, writing from the scenes that play out in my head. On occasion, I might write the midpoint of the novel, or even the final chapter, after finishing the first chapter. But that's only when I fear that I'll not quite get it right if I wait until I reach that part in the story. After that first draft is done, I begin the editing with dozens and dozens of reads, going through chapter by chapter, stopping along the way to color the flowers, so to speak, adding the polish, all the while looking for inconsistencies and typos. Finally, I write a blurb, a short snippet for the back cover. Then the editor is called upon. Once the editor is done, I make the necessary adjustments. Then it's time to do a final read-through of the complete novel, reading aloud. And what a feeling when it's ready for publication. However, the most important thing is to do research, to ensure that the story is realistic. I spend more time doing research than actually writing, and I'm often asked how much time is spent in that area. On one occasion, I was asked by an 80-plus-year-old man how much time I had spent doing research, and I knew that he had recently purchased The Twisted Spire, which is a spiritual story about the problems of the world. And I very proudly admitted that, yes, research is a very big part of my writing. And while we were still in conversation, he informed me that he had recently purchased a different novel of mine, Some Play Chess, a story about online dating, recreational sex, and sex addiction. Well, I tell you, at that moment, I saw Jessica, the main character in the novel, wearing a very revealing negligee and looking down upon a bed covered in rose petals. Needless to say, I blushed. But it was a good question. How much research is needed? Well, in my opinion, more is better than less, and one cannot exert too much time into getting it right, because most important of all, make sure that you have a believable story.